Modi to inaugurate the new Bhavpur-New Khurja section of Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor in Uttar Pradesh via video conferencing. Built at a cost of 5,750 crore rupees, the section will open new vistas of opportunity for the local industries. Amidst about 300 farmer delegations extending their support to the new farm reform laws, the next round of talks between the government and the agitating farmers on 30th December. 4 contentious issues on the agenda of the talks. Prime Minister Modi flags off the 100th Kisan Rail from Shangola in Maharashtra to Shalimar in West Bengal via video conferencing. Listing the benefits of Kisan Rail, Prime Minister Modi calls it a game changer in ensuring fast transportation of the agriculture produce across the nation. As the cold wave grips North India, the Met Department forecasts fall in minimum temperatures by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius till 1st of January. Continuous drop in the number of COVID-19 active cases in the country. The Home Ministry extends the November guidelines for surveillance, containment and caution to 31st of January next year. World continues to combat COVID-19. Pfizer to complete the supply of COVID-19 vaccines to European Union by September. The US House approves $2,000 COVID-19 aid checks sought by Trump, while China jailed citizen journalists for 4 years over Wuhan virus reporting. And in cricket, India wins the Melbourne Test against Australia, chasing 70-run target. Australia bowled out for 200 in their second innings. India levelled the series 1-all in the 4-match Test series. Hello and good morning. You're watching DD India with me, Nancy Kohli. And first up, the good news. Well, India have bounced back in style, winning the Melbourne Test by 8 wickets to draw level in the 4-match Test series. Captain Ajinkya Rahane continues to enjoy a dream run with the armband as he has never lost a Test match leading the side. A victory down under helps India get a firm footing in the Test series after the nightmare in Adelaide. Ajinkya Rahane led with the bat with a fluent 100 to back the man of the match. Ravindra Jadeja scored a fluent half century to help gain batting score 326 runs in their first innings after the Aussies got bowled out for 195 runs. Indian bowlers led the way with Jasprit Bumrah snapping 6 wickets in the Test win. Mohammad Siraj on debut picked 5 wickets in the Test. India scored the 70-run target, losing just 2 wickets. Earlier, Australia got bowled out for 200 runs in the second innings, and India have now won their fourth series. The series is now evenly poised, with both the teams out there to prove a point in the third Test. And let's now go across to our correspondent Narayan, who's joining us for more updates as far as India. They're bouncing back in style as far as this match is concerned. Narayan, so good news, they're coming in from Melbourne. The series have now been levelled, and India, they're winning and bouncing back in style.
Yeah, really India bouncing back in style the way they were all out in the first Test match in Adelaide for 36 runs. And after that big jolt, they came back and they showed their character and won the second match at MCG by 8 wickets. This is the character of big players. This is the character of the big teams. When you lost a match with a big margin and after that you come back, this is the real character of the big teams. And India here showed that they are a great team the way they played in the Melbourne Test. And especially Indian bowlers, the way they ball, it's really great. It was they were too relentless against Australia. Even the Australian first time the Australian cricket team looked too defensive on their home soil, and really we can see the Australian team playing so defensively in their home soil. In the partnership that took yesterday between their two players, they took 253 balls for 57 runs. So the way Indian bowlers show their composure, they show temperament, is highly commendable here.
Absolutely. And let's also now talk about Ajinkya Rahane, who's clearly leading from the front as India. They're scripting, that leveling series 1-all. And talking about Ajinkya Rahane, well, he's truly giving a fine example of the leadership qualities as India has chased down this target of 70 runs winning the match.
A great captaincy by Ajinkya Rahane here. Apart from that, a great inning he played. It is the best inning of this series so far. Especially he gave a befitting reply to his critics, and his modus operandi as a captain was fantastic. And you can say that he remained calm even in the situation where the situation was very disappointing during the DRS call, where the Australian player was very marginally, it was looking run out, but he didn't lose his composure. He was very calm, and especially the way he handled the situation on the first innings. On the 11th over, he gave bowling to Ashwin, and in the Australian condition, we can't imagine to give a ball to a spinner after 10 overs. Absolutely. And he got the award for that, and soon Ashwin took 2 wickets. So as a captain, we can give him a full marks, and the way he took the brave decisions in a test match, that is in Australia, it shows that he is a complete captaincy material, and he never looked out of ideas, he never looked confused, he always went for the big changes, he always took big decisions, and those decisions gave him results also. Whenever we saw that he went for a change, the bowlers also gave him breakthrough, and the result we clearly here we can see that result, India winning the second test match by 8 wickets.
Yes, and talking about this Boxing Day test between India and Australia, well, this will truly go down in history as one of the greatest cricketing comebacks in terms of the shift between the two games, the shift in performance between the two games that have been played.
Definitely, the way India, in the first test, in the presence of the big guns like Kohli, Rohit Sharma was not there, and after that in the second test, in the absence of the big guns, the way India performed is great, and we can say that here every team member had contributed, even the bowler, even the batsman, the debutant Shubman Gill, Mohammad Siraj, the way they gave their 100% as a unit, that is more commendable here. India were not dependent on in the past they were dependent on their big star to win the matches. Here nothing looked like that. The way the team showed that team spirit, that is great. And it should be there, because if you want to be a world #1 team, if you want to dominate the world cricket, each member should give his from his side, so that the team can win the matches. We saw that here only. In the absence of the big players, every member of the team delivering, and in the Australian condition, and that is more important for the team here.
Well, absolutely. From being at the receiving end in the previous match to dominating this one, well, India, they're truly giving a statement of their intent in this series. Thanks, Narayan, very much for joining us and sharing all those details and inputs as far as India, they're bouncing back and winning in style is concerned in that cricket match. Moving on now to a next top story, Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the new Bhaupur-New Khurja section of the Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor today. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate the corridor's Operation Control Centre at Prayagraj. The section will open new vistas of opportunity for the local industries such as aluminium, besides decongesting the existing Kanpur-Delhi main line, and also enable the Indian Railways to run faster trains. Here's a detailed report.
Tuesday will mark yet another milestone in ensuring seamless, fast and secure movement of freight in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the new Bhaupur-New Khurja section of Eastern Dedicated Freight Corridor EDFC via video conferencing. During the event, Prime Minister will also inaugurate EDFC's Operation Control Centre at Prayagraj. The 351-kilometer New Bhaupur-New Khurja section of EDFC is situated in Uttar Pradesh and is built at a cost of 5,750 crore rupees. The section will open new vistas of opportunity for the local industries such as aluminium industry in Pukrayan region of Kanpur Dehat district, dairy sector in Auraiya district, textile production block printing in Etawah district, glassware industry in Firozabad district, pottery products from Khurja of Bulandshahr district, Asafetida or Hing production in Hathras district, locks and hardware from Aligarh district. The section will also decongest the existing Kanpur-Delhi main line and will enable Indian Railways to run faster trains. A state-of-the-art operation control center at Prayagraj will act as the command center for the entire route length of the EDFC. The EDFC 1,856 route kilometer starts from Sahnewal near Ludhiana, Punjab and will pass through the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand to terminate at Dankuni in West Bengal. It is being constructed by Dedicated Freight Corridor Corporation of India Limited, DFCCIL, DD India.
And let's now go across to our correspondent Arun Sharma, who is joining us with more updates as far as this freight corridor is concerned. Arun, this 351-kilometer long stretch of this dedicated freight corridor and the immense benefits that it will bring in terms of both the passenger trains and the local industries. The movement of goods is going to be now faster and decongesting the main Kanpur-Delhi line. So clearly many benefits that this corridor will bring to a lot of stakeholders.
Well, again, a new milestone as far as the railway sector is concerned. Yesterday, we saw that the Kisan Rail Yatra, the 100th journey that was flagged off by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that was providing a seamless connectivity as far as the farm produce are concerned of farmers via Kisan Rail. So now the focus is on this dedicated Eastern Freight Corridor. Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is inaugurating a section of 351 kilometers out of the 1,856 kilometers. Now, this 351 kilometer between New Khurja and New Bhaupur will play an important role in providing bigger markets as well to the small manufacturers and artisans as well, because they'll be in a position to send their goods via these freight trains, and of course, this will be the dedicated freight corridor. Now, earlier, a freight movement was much more costlier. The logistical cost was much more costlier, and as far as the goods are concerned, to transport from one state to another, it used to take 5 to 6 days. There was no fixed timetable as far as freight trains are concerned. But now, since the Eastern dedicated freight corridor will be in place, the entire corridor, we know this fact that it starts from Ludhiana in Punjab and it is extended till West Bengal. So it is a long Eastern dedicated corridor. But important aspect is that, as we know this fact, that 1,000 kilometers of which lies in Uttar Pradesh. So important aspect is that Uttar Pradesh is also running an initiative known as One District, One Product. So the markets, the products primarily of these artisans and manufacturers will get a bigger market, because they'll be in a position to send their produce, their manufacturing goods via these freight trains with less logistical cost, and of course in a speedy manner as well, because now it won't take more than 48 hours for an interstate movement as well as far as these goods are concerned. So yes, it's a win-win situation, of course, for the passenger train, because there will be a decongestion as far as the main line is concerned, and of course the goods will be transported from one state to another with less logistical cost as well.
All right, Arun Sharma, thanks very much for joining us for the moment and sharing all those inputs as far as the dedicated freight corridor is concerned. Moving on now, amidst about 300 farmer delegations from across the nation extending their support to the new farm reform laws, the process of the farmer delegations meeting the union ministers and declaring open support for the farm laws still continues. And the government is extending the initiation of the dialogue with agitating farmers. Meanwhile, the 7th round of talks between the government and the farmers will take place on Wednesday.
The process of farmer delegations from across the nation meeting the Union Minister for Agriculture and declaring open support for the farm reform laws continues even as the 7th round of talks between the government and agitating farmers will be held on Wednesday. About 300 farmer delegations from across the nation extended support to the new farm reform laws at a function in New Delhi on Monday. Farmer groups from Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Jammu and Kashmir and several other states participated participated in the event. Centre reiterated that the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is committed to ensure the welfare of the farmers, and the laws are a decisive step in that very direction.
किसान हमारे देश का अन्नदाता है, किसान का सम्मान हमारे मन में है। जो कानून आए वो किसान की समृद्धि के लिए आए, जो कानून आए खेती को समृद्ध करने के लिए आए।
The farmers lauded the efforts of the government and requested that the momentum of farm reforms be continued.
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग की बात मैं करता हूं। कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग कोई जबरदस्ती नहीं है, कोई नया काम नहीं है। देश के 15 प्रदेशों में किया जा रहा है। किसी किसान की जमीन नहीं छीनी गई। इस तरह की अफवाहें उड़ाने वाले लोग किसानों के मित्र तो नहीं हो सकते।
भारत वर्ष के किसानों की दशा और दिशा में सुधार होगा, उन्हें दलाली व्यवस्था से छुटकारा मिलेगा, उनकी फसल का उनको वाजिब मूल्य मिल सकेगा।
जो भी कानून आए हैं वो सब कानून सब ठीक है और इस कानून से कोई भी नुकसान नहीं है, ना किसी किसान को कोई नुकसान है। जो भी गवर्नमेंट पूरे देश के अंदर हो रहा है, गुमराह किया जा रहा है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
Meanwhile, the government on Monday invited 40 protesting farmer unions for the next round of talks on 30th December. The talks will be held on all relevant issues. Agitating farmer unions had made a proposal last week to hold the talks on December 29th. The government's invite follows the proposal made by the farmer unions. Agriculture Secretary Sanjay Agrawal has invited the unions for talks at 2 p.m. on 30th December. The talks will be held at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi. The letter says that the government is also committed to finding a logical solution on all relevant issues and has a clear intention and an open mind going into the subject. The talks will be held on all the 3 new reform laws, the issue of minimum support price, Commission for Air Quality Management in National Capital Region and Adjoining Areas Ordinance 2020 and the proposed Electricity Amendment Bill 2020. The government is hopeful that the talks will be productive.
जो बिल है इसके अंदर जो अच्छी बातें हैं निश्चित रूप से उसके बाद में भी अगर संशोधन की आवश्यकता है तो अगर वो बात कोई ऐसी रखेंगे अगर उसमें तो निश्चित रूप से उसको भारत सरकार विचार करेगी और बातचीत से ही हल निकलना है।
The farmers, on the other hand, continue to protest at the Delhi borders. With inputs from O.P. Yadav, DD India.
Now, the Finance Ministry has released the 9th weekly installment of 6,000 crore rupees to the states as back-to-back loan to meet the GST compensation shortfall. Out of this, an amount of 5,516 crore rupees has been released to 23 states and with Legislative Assembly. The remaining 5 states, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Sikkim, do not have a gap in the revenue on the account of GST implementation. A total amount of 54,000 crore rupees has been released so far to all the states and the union territories with legislation. This is in addition to the additional borrowing permission of 1,06,830 crore rupees granted to the states. Now moving on, Prime Minister Modi flagged off the 100 Kisan rail from Shangola in Maharashtra to Shalimar in West Bengal on Monday. The Prime Minister listed the benefits of Kisan Rail. He said Kisan Rail has been a game changer in ensuring the fast transportation of agriculture produce across the nation. It provides a seamless supply chain of perishable produce. And moving on now to some weather news, and according to the Met Department, under the influence of western disturbance, scattered rainfall or snowfall is very likely over Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand today. Cold wave to severe cold wave condition is also very likely in Hawa at some places in Uttarakhand, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, with the fall in the minimum temperatures by 3 to 5 degrees Celsius during the next 3 days. The Weather Department has also forecast dense to very dense fog in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh and the national capital Delhi. The Met Department has issued warning till the 1st of January as North India will be under the spell of cold wave conditions for the next few days. Meanwhile, Delhi's temperature at 5:30 this morning today was measured at 5.4 degrees Celsius. And the Union Territory of Ladakh will get its own Met Centre today. The Union Earth Sciences Minister Dr. Harshvardhan will virtually inaugurate the newly established Indian Met Department for Ladakh. The IMD will have 4 automatic weather stations operating in Leh, Kargil, Dras and Stakna. The real-time weather information from these stations will be available online for every 15 minutes and hourly basis through the IMD website. The new Met Center will provide all the information relating to weather and climate for entire Ladakh region, including the far-off places like Changthang, Nubra, Zanskar, Zojila and Dras. Earlier, the Indian Met Department in Srinagar was dependent of defense establishments in Ladakh for weather readings in the vastly spread region. And moving on now to COVID-19 updates from across the country. While India has scaled a significant peak in the fight against the global pandemic, the country has reported a trend of sustained decrease in the number of active cases. Now, India's total active cases has fallen further to 2,68,581. India's active caseload stands at 2.63% of the total positive cases. 24,900 cases recovered and discharged in the past 24 hours. The total number of recovered cases has crossed the 98 lakh mark and stands at 98 lakh 7,569. The gap between the recovered cases and the active cases, that is steadily increasing, presently stands at 95 lakh 38,988. The difference in the new recoveries outnumbering the new cases has also improved the recovery rate to 95.92% today. This difference is continuously growing as the recoveries outpace the daily new cases. Now, meanwhile, rigorous testing has been going on across the country, and according to the ICMR, 16,98,01,749 COVID-19 case tests have been conducted till 28th December. On Monday, 9,83,695 tests were conducted. And taking a look now at the updates on COVID-19 from across the world, the virus has infected more than 8 crore 16 lakh people, while over 5 crore 77 lakh have recovered from COVID-19 worldwide. The number of lives lost due to COVID-19 stands above 17 lakh 80,000. The US remains the worst affected from the virus. It has registered more than 1 crore 97 lakh cases of COVID-19, with the fatalities crossing 3 lakh 43,000. And the European Union has said that the distribution of initial 200 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech will be completed by September next year. Meanwhile, European Union spokesperson has further said that talks were underway to agree the delivery of further 100 million doses, which are optional under the contract sealed. Most European Union countries began inoculating the healthcare workers and the vulnerable people on Sunday with the Pfizer vaccine, which is the only authorized vaccine in the 27-nation bloc. The bloc has also signed advance purchase agreements with AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Sanofi and CureVac for a total of nearly 2 billion doses. And moving on now to some other news, the former Union Minister Arun Jaitley's birth anniversary was celebrated on Monday at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in the national capital. Jaitley was also the president of DDCA from 1999 to 2013. During his tenure, Delhi won the title of Ranji Trophy. The Delhi District Cricket Association, who worked with him, remembered him on the occasion.
सीके खन्ना जी हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। काफ़ी टाइम उन्होंने उनके साथ काम किया। सर, क्या इस प्रतिमा का मकसद रहा और किस तरह से आप लोगों ने ये पूरा इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज?
देखिए, ये स्टेडियम जैसे आपको विदित है, पिछले साल अरुण जेटली स्टेडियम के नाम से हुआ है और ये प्रतिमा लगने से अब ये हम सबको बड़ा गौरवान्वित फील हो रहा है। जो उन्होंने एक पॉलिटिशियन और मंत्री होने के अलावा जो क्रिकेट के लिए किया, क्रिकेट में दिया, आज ये इतनी बड़ी बुलंदी पर पहुँचाया, आज दिल्ली का इतना नाम हुआ और जो उन्होंने BCCI के लिए सहयोग दिया, वो हमेशा के लिए याद रखा जाएगा।
रोहन यंगस्टर है, जुनून है, हम लोगों के पास एक्सपीरियंस है, पुराने लोग सारे जुड़े हुए हैं हमारे जितने, और हमारे जो अब जो एज पर लोडा जो नहीं भी आ पाए, उनका भी गाइडलाइंस हमारे साथ चल रहा है। उन्हों की हर चीज़ हमारी इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहती है, गाइड कर रहे हैं और इट्स नॉट ए बिग डील। अगर आप एज ए टीम काम करते हो तो कोई भी काम करना बहुत आसान है। अब ये देखिएगा कि 25 दिन के अंदर ये डिसाइड होके आज अनवील भी हो गया।
ये मैसेज हम DDC की तरफ से है कि खिलाड़ी की सुविधा के साथ साथ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर की भी पूजा होनी चाहिए। हमारा ये आज कर्तव्य बनता है, दिल्ली में जितने भी क्रिकेटर्स हुए हैं उनके लिए फैसिलिटीज़ जनरेट करना, एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करना, उस चीज़ के लिए बहुत लोग पीछे ऐसे होते हैं जो इस सिस्टम को करते हैं। तो हम दो संदेश देना चाहते हैं, क्रिकेटर के साथ साथ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर को भी यहाँ पे रिस्पेक्ट दी जाएगी। और आज अनुज सर की वजह से ही काफ़ी फंड जनरेट हुए थे। जब डीडीसी में कई बार स्टाफ की सैलरी के लिए पैसे नहीं होते रहे, तो कई उन्होंने अपने व्यक्तिगत संबंधों से सब लोग से मिलकर इस साधन को जुटाया। तो आज हमारा फर्ज बनता है, जब थोड़ा डीडीसी अब समर्थ है पैसे के हिसाब से, एक छोटी सी भेंट हमारी तरफ से डीडीसी की तरफ से अनुज सर के लिए है।
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. Thanks for being with us.